Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and what might well be the dumbest video I've ever done on this channel. You guys might remember last week we went to Daytona to find out and kind of for me to allow me to explain my case as to why I think Daytona would be an awesome circuit for Formula 1. And in that video we actually ended up doing a multi-class race between Formula 1 cars, Formula 3 cars and Formula 4 cars. Now, that wasn't actually meant to be the main focus of that video, but it was the bit that you guys ended up talking about most, and you were kind of asking what would happen if Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 all shared a race. So that's what we're going to try and do today. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, you can't get Formula 2 cars on iRacing, but I've kind of found a solution. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, the Super Formula SF23 car. Yes, Japan's premier racing series or open wheel racing series. These things are, I believe, slightly more powerful than a Formula 2 car, but I'll say, to the untrained eye, they look pretty similar. They don't rely on the Mechachrome lottery as well, which is absolutely fantastic news. So yeah, we've got 9 of the Toyotas, 9 of the Hondas. They are identical underneath. There is no performance difference to them inside iRacing. So we've got 18 Super Formula cars, 18 of our Mercedes W13s, and 18 of our Formula 3 cars. We're going to run a 5-minute qualifying session, which admittedly here at Spa is only going to allow people 1 lap to try and get it done. And that includes trying to navigate traffic all at the same time. And then we're going to do a 15-minute race to hopefully kind of sort people out and then just see what chaos ensues. Like I said, might be the dumbest video I ever make on this channel, but if you enjoy it, leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Maybe we could turn this into a mini-series at some point where we do like a 6-race championship between all these classes of cars. But anyway, yeah, let's head down to the circuit. Well, luckily for me, I've actually been given the very last pit box around this circuit. Unfortunately, for some reason, all the Mercedes get forced to the front of the pit lane. It's actually the Super Formula cars. For some reason, they get absolutely screwed over. So I'm going to let a few cars go by, just so we try and get, like, the full experience. But, I mean, yeah, Spa is the longest track on the Formula 1 calendar, so I'm expecting us to have to deal with some trouble. That Mercedes is going on with it. That would probably be the best port of call. I think if you really wanted to embrace full chaos in this series, you'd make all the F3 cars go out first, then let all the Super Formula cars out about 20 seconds behind, wait another 20 seconds, and then let all the Mercs out. There is not a chance everybody is going to be able to get their qualifying laps done. So I think, there we go, there's a Formula 3 car. I think we're just going to get on with it, because I want to try and get a time on the board, and maybe we'll end up with traffic as everybody else comes out onto the circuit far too late. Can obviously go around the F3 car before we get out onto the circuit, and then immediately we wave goodbye. Again, those things have got, I think, about 250 horsepower. There's 300 horsepower. The Super Formula car has got closer to 700. This thing's got 1,000, so there are levels to this game. We're just trying to make sure that I've got the battery fully charged then as we get ready to start our one-shot qualifying run. Unfortunately, someone else has just managed to get in front of me there through the final couple of corners. But as we get ready to go then, we are going to be green flag qualifying, I guess, here from Spa-Francorchamps. So down in towards turn 1. Just a little bit of front lock in there. But, I mean, yeah, this lap is going to be completely dictated by where you come across traffic on the lap, so we'll wait and see as to how we get on. As you can still see cars making their way out of the pit lane then. This immediately might cause some problems. Here is yellow flags already out, as there goes one of the Super Formula cars down past the pit lane exit line. Is that another Super Formula car? I think it might be a Merc actually. Always difficult to tell, you know, work out what's in front of you. That is a Mercedes. Oh, this is going to be completely in the way. Blue flags, come on. There are, sadly, no blue flags inside iRacing for things like that, so normally, obviously, you do qualifying by yourself, but as we make our way down through Malmedy, again, just trying to roll on the throttle as best as you can. I mean, the AI might not be too aggressive in qualifying. They might just want to you know, just sit behind each other and things like that, as that's not what we need. Ooh, a Formula 3, Formula 2, I'm going to call it, and a Formula 1 car there, all having a picnic down through Puons. That, yeah, got a little bit scary. Down through Fanya, though. It's right and then the left. I do love the way the Formula 1 car feels inside iRacing. This one is a bit more slippery than the current cars, as I go and immediately prove that point. Come on, just keep it going. Keep it going. I mean, our qualifying lap might not be ruined, because everybody else is dealing with traffic there, as almost getting collected up by one of our fake Formula 2s. I think I'm just going to call them Formula 2 for the rest of this video there. I mean, look at that. They're just all over the place trying to get on with it. They're trying to find a way around the F3 car. Haven't got any times on the board. Yes, we do. Someone's done a 2-minute lap time as our benchmark here. I've got no idea what car they're in, though. I would assume it's a Mercedes. So we make our way through the bus stop then, just to try and finish the lap. Huge chunk of wheel spin as we try to put the power down. We do a 2:02.7. That is not exactly what I'd call a great qualifying lap, but we're one of just 4 cars, I think, that got a lap on the board. So I'm going to take it. Well, that might be a little bit of a problem then. I've been forced to start on the hairpin of turn 1 because all the cars are starting down in towards Eau Rouge. But anyway, 4 red lights, I guess. And he's going to be lights out and away we go there. So yeah, we were left a little bit behind the rest of our order. Basically everybody is all mixed up then. So let's wait and see what it's like. F1, F2 and F3 into Eau Rouge for the first time. Will iRacing's AI kind of work? Everybody seems pretty good until, yeah, you think you found an avenue and then it just doesn't work as well. 3 wide, one of the Formula 2 cars there. Didn't spot him trying to get the run on me as we try and have a look around in the outside of another Formula 3 car. Up in towards, Blanchimont. Come on. Luckily damage is disabled, otherwise I would never see the checkered flag in one of these races. But yeah, I'm expecting this to be about a 6 or a 7 lap race. So I'm hoping we do lap some other cars at some point as well. As when I'm driving those Formula 2 cars normally, they feel very, very quick inside the sim. When you're in a Formula 1 car, it just puts everything into perspective. Everything else in the world feels slow in comparison to a Formula 1 car. I was driving in the Daytona 24 at the weekend, a GTP car, so the top Le Mans class, and this again just absolutely throws me off in comparison. They are just in another league, and it always, like I said, it gives you perspective of just how ridiculous Formula 1 cars are in comparison to anything else in the world. I mean, we've made some good progress on that one. I guess a bit like the Daytona video, we're going to try and challenge ourselves just to see how many overtakes we can make. Because, I wondered, I wondered why that Mercedes was so slow on the exit there, but then there was a Formula 3 car in front of it. And obviously you just can't see him. Up through Blanchimont will go. Cars absolutely everywhere. But yeah, luckily we will get around the outside of every single one of them. It was an important consideration, actually, before I came into this video about what track I should pick. Because I kind of, obviously, like I said, Daytona is genuinely and almost accidentally kind of perfect for it as well, which is quite good. But I thought, in terms of Formula 1 circuits, I felt like my toss-up was between either here or Silverstone. I thought to kind of try this out, because I thought Silverstone's another pretty quick track and you can make plenty of progress on. Also, bonus points. If you get 37 places on that one, you've earned a pat on the back as well. So very good job there. But yeah, I was kind of torn between either Spa or Silverstone for this, but I thought, you know, Spa's recently been updated inside the sim. Yeah, this car, nope. Oh, we've damaged the back end. Luckily, we should be able to, there we go. Damage. Luckily, you kind of have the crash and then it brings all the damage back off again. Oh, what? Yeah, I've just absolutely immediately cooked the tyres. And now, I mean, look at that. I've been overtaken by a Formula 3 car. That's utterly, utterly disastrous. Have I actually lost the rear wing on this thing? It feels undrivable. What is going on? But I think what I've got to do is just try and bring the tyre temperature back down again. iRacing, it does kind of, you find that obviously if you cook the tyres, especially in a car like this, then it is just an absolute handful. Definitely still got the rear wing, otherwise it'd be off in the wall there as well, and suffering even more damage. But yeah, like I was saying though, Spa I kind of felt was one of the only tracks kind of on the F1 calendar big enough to kind of do this at. And obviously, the iRacing's AI support as well. Like I said, Silverstone was probably one of the only other tracks that I could do it at. Or, I mean, Monza would just be a complete disaster. But I guess if I wanted to do like a championship with this, we could do, you know, we could do, obviously this, Spa, obviously like I mentioned, Silverstone like I mentioned. I mean, we've got Hungary, we've got like Portimao, which is obviously recently in F1, Monza, Imola, Mugello. Mugello, actually, I think would be a really, really good one to try this out on as well. I think that'd be really, really cool to, you know, go in around there with the high downforce. Obviously, these cars completely pinned versus like a Formula 3 car that's barely limping round. But because of the AI now, it almost feels like iRacing has become like a bit more of a sandbox that you can kind of do these things with as well, because, well, I owned an ARN, and it was either kind of this or Assetto Corsa, but with all, obviously, AC Evo stuff going on at the moment, I kind of felt like that would be a bit of a kind of tripping over itself, almost, but, I mean, yeah, I could legitimately set it up so, obviously, you know, we name all the AI drivers after, like, Formula 1, Formula 2, and Formula 3 drivers. Say, for example, you've got an 18-car F1 grid, so we'd probably scrap Sauber, based on last year. We could have like 18 of the 22 or 20. Is it 22? I think it is 22, isn't it? Formula 2 drivers, so I'd probably just scrap like 4 of the ones that don't deserve to be there. And then I guess you could have like 9 of the F3 teams, but only with 2 drivers rather than 3. I mean, you could even run a system where like the Formula 2 and the Formula 3 teams, their points are combined as well. Which would be really, really cool, because of course F2 and F3, they are pretty much entirely overlapped still, don't they? Apart from Genza, wasn't it, last year? As well as, obviously, I think was it Rodin as well? I don't believe they have they might have a Formula 3 team. I can't quite remember as well, but yeah, there is kind of like an idea for a series there, I feel like. It would take a lot of setting up in the background, and iRacing's AI aren't fantastic, but it's a bit like of a fun championship. It could be something really, really cool, as somehow in this race now, I kind of feel like we're out in no man's land. Well, I'm hoping we are slowly closing in on a few more guys in front, but I mean, already there's a big gap at the front of the order there. We're probably about 45 seconds off our race leader at the moment. Just, you know, if a Mercedes started on pole, they haven't had to deal with any of the traffic early on, as I could definitely see some slower cars up there. Potentially getting in the way. I would imagine it's mainly the Super Formula, or the Formula 2 cars, sorry, that are still in front, and obviously the Mercs as well. But, I mean, yeah, this is, like I said, that wasn't genuinely the idea with kind of that first video. But then you guys were there going, like, can you do another one, but with the Super Formula car as Formula 2? Just to kind of see what would happen. And, well, so far, admittedly, like I said, the AI pretty temperamental. I could up their aggression massively, and it would be chaos. But they genuinely seem to handle it fairly well. They, you know, they don't spend all race stuck behind each other. They, you know, they do kind of wait for the straights and things like that, and occasionally will kind of get locked in and staring at the back of a Formula 3 car in front of them. But it genuinely works fairly well, better than I thought it would, which is quite impressive. Other tracks I could try this at, Le Mans, I think would be quite a fun one. Nürburgring, the full layout, I think would be quite cool. Although I genuinely reckon actually that the GP layout might work fairly well for this kind of thing. So yeah, you can see, yeah, there's one Merc just here, still stuck behind a couple of the Formula 2 cars. Yeah, the Formula 2, they actually have push to pass as well. So when they've got the push to pass enabled, if a Mercedes isn't using its like battery deploying things, there's actually not that much speed in it between them down a straight. Like, it's quite impressive actually, just how quick those Formula 2 cars are. There's, you know, the Merc in front just backs out of it in towards Eau Rouge, and that I tried to be brave. I tried to be brave, it didn't work for me. And I'm going to get a slowdown on the exit as well. And try and see if we can find a way through this time round. Yeah, look at that top end. We are barely going past it. Maybe the Merc has got a GP2 engine in it. Who knows? But, yeah, those Formula 2 cars are impressive around a circuit like this. You know, in comparison to a Formula 1 car. Like, the Japanese build their race cars very well. I will always give them credit for that. I want to see more Japanese circuits as well on iRacing. I want, like, Autopolis and Sugo to be on the sim at some point down the line. Now, I think still the big difference has got to be the cornering ability. You know, this Mercedes, especially at high speed, does have a lot of downforce working for it. And obviously you notice that even more against, like, the Formula 3s. But it's through corners like that where you come from a long way back and you can just get around the outside of a Formula car. Or like that, you just get so much later on the brakes and you can move through. But genuinely, that, for multi-class endurance racing, works. Like, that's not like a Formula 4 car that I'm coming up with like 100-mile-an-hour difference. That's like 20, 30 miles an hour, which is probably less than I was experiencing at Daytona between the GTP and the GT3 cars. We might have accidentally legitimately created a motorsport series here that could work in the future. Like, I would not be shocked if quite a few of the Super Formula cars beat quite a few of the Mercs here. I have to take a look at the lap times when we get to the end of it, but yeah, we're at over half distance now. I'm still hoping we... Oh! I was going to say I'm hoping we lap some of the Formula 3 cars, but that's probably not going to do us any favours. I don't actually know what lap times they kind of do. Oh, no! He just put me in a wall! Come on, let's go. I've made one enemy, it would appear, with a Super Formula car. It's just so stupid, but kind of working. I'm going to claim... Don't hit each other, please. Thank you. There we go. But yeah, we've got 4 minutes left on the clock then, so we'll have 2 more laps after this one, I want to say. For some reason, all of my iRacing binds... Oh no, put the pit limiter on. That one still worked. But yeah, I need to get my bind working again to clear off the visor. Because we've kicked up a fair amount of debris. Whoa! In this race, as maybe I'm just being too optimistic about what this car can do. Especially on fairly cooked tyres at this point. Because we you know... We have had to make some quick changes of direction. We have had to slam on the anchors randomly, in a couple of places. And again, you overheat these tyres on this car, it will just go on you. If you've got iRacing, I would highly recommend trying this car out. It's a handful, and it goes to show just kind of how forgiving Formula 1 cars on the F1 game are. I would genuinely love, I've said this before, I would love to see Cody's implement like a realistic handling model. Like, you got the option between like the arcade one we got at the moment, or like a more realistic one with a more brutal damage one and things like that for league racing. I think that would be so cool at the end of the day, and really kind of separate your decent drivers from your good ones as well. But yeah, I mean, leader's close to about a minute and a half ahead of me now, I think. So it definitely having to try and fight our way through right from the back. Now, it has been quite difficult. Still got Mercedes, though, getting slowed up behind the Super Formula cars. I mean, actually on corner exit in a few places, those SF cars are probably, you know, able to get the power down just as easily as we can. They are very grippy at the rear end. They obviously, I think, apart from the push to pass, they've got no hybrid power. I don't believe... No, they have got a turbo on them, I'm pretty certain. But the torque curve on them is so much more manageable. Actually, you know, they are very good fun there. It's almost 3 wide on the exit as we try and get the run. But again, you know, you give him the slipstream, he's not dropping away from us. Like, they're pretty good in the straight line there. I was going to mug that guy off. Well, on the inside, no, we're not. I broke too late. Keep it out the gravel, thank you. Definitely as well, still, and this is more of an iRacing thing than a problem with what I'm doing, the FPS can struggle. 56 cars is a lot, even for my CPU to handle still, at the best of times. So, maybe we'd have to do just like Formula 1 and Formula 2, or maybe you just kind of accept that as part of the magic of my all-new racing series as well there. But I just want to find, is that some Formula 3 cars down there? Are we closing in on some slower traffic? I don't think we are still, are we? I think our lap times have just been a bit all over the place. We might just get to them on the last lap, because there seems to be a lot of cars here. I want a top 10. Oh, there we go. There's a Formula 3. So we are finally coming up to lap our first one. So things might get a bit chaotic with just one lap to go then, because we're still trying to find our way around F2 cars. And now we've got to deal with the Formula 3s. Oh, I did not know there were so many cars. I was more trying to avoid stuff there. Yeah, I mean, you just go in. And because the Mercs are so big, you cannot see a Formula 3 car hidden in front of it. Like, you just suddenly at the very last moment, you're there like, why is that guy driving so slowly? And suddenly, it all just becomes clear once again there. But one more lap to go then, here from Spa. I'm surprised we haven't been lapped with the way I've driven during this race. But hopefully, I was going to say hopefully we can make some moves, but not like that down at turn 1. Oh, another Super Formula car. We'll get in the way of him. We'll try and get going again. I've also only just realised I've been in attack mode all race, which has meant we basically had no battery and the torque has been as bad as it could possibly be inside this car. So that's probably not helped me out either inside this race, but I'm going to claim that as one car overtaken on this lap. Let's try and see how many cars we can overtake on this last lap. I'm hoping we navigate some, if not many, of the Formula 3s. And then, yeah, we'll try and make as many moves as we can here. As here we go. Formula 3 and Formula 2. Ah, no, I'm going to get collected. Especially if I rejoin. Sorry. Come on, I've got to get back to the Formula 3. 33 instant points in 15 minutes, I think, might be a record, even by my bad standards from Daytona over the weekend. Just, I mean, yeah, it's a handful. I think the Mercedes struggles the most with this out of all the cars. The other ones are okay. But when you're trying to do crazy things with the Mercedes, she can be a little bit temperamental. Maybe I'd be better doing it with the W11 from 2021. Just a bit more kind of a forgiving race car at the end of the day. Because, yeah, this 2022 car was not exactly reliable for Hamilton or George Russell. But making our way then in towards the final few corners here. I mean, they're all just sat in the middle of the road. They're all just watching that Formula 3 car as he tries to get on with it here. Around the outside of another one. We might get a couple more before the checkered flag. I mean, the speed difference there is quite extreme. We might need like a modern Formula 3 car to really be able to do this reliably. But, oh, we got one more lap still. How far ahead was the leader in this race? It's going to get a little bit grabbing an argy-bargy with a Formula 3 car, as he can get on the throttle as early as I can, but we certainly got a little bit more power as these two wheel to wheel through turn 1. Am I about to ruin their good quality race? Hopefully not. If I can actually, again, put the power down, should be cleanly through. By the time we get down in towards Eau Rouge, I would not want to go wheel to wheel with them through there. Although, again, I don't think we'd be wheel to wheel very long before either I or the Formula 3 car simply got sent to the shadow ramp. Now, if this did exist in real life, there would be a lot of cars having some rather scary accidents at the end of the day there. I mean, come on! Hang on in a straight line, please. Nope, she just can't do it. She just cannot do it. Avoid the wall? Just about. Yeah, I think I forgot to disable the tyre wear, and that has punished me as every single class of car going through once again. I mean, this is an experiment. I'm trying, you know, I'm kind of like the outer reaches of science with this video. iRacing science for you all. So, you know, it's not going to run perfectly every time there has got a little bit close down in through Pouhon once again then. But, yeah, the Mercs definitely are a little bit too hesitant around the Super Formula cars. It's over! No! Well, after I worried about how big a crash we'd have with a Formula 2 or a Formula 3 car at high speed, in the end, it was my own stupid move against a fellow Formula 1 car. If that doesn't showcase why this series would be chaos, I don't know what will. thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. And yeah, I'll be back very soon, maybe with another ridiculous iRacing challenge.